Hello, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, remember to hit that subscribe button, also the notification bell. We are going to do a reading for the collective. Sorry about the lighting, but half my electrics is working and half is not. I've got a lot of building things going on, so we'll just have to persevere with the lighting at this stage. We're going to do a reading for the collective because we are coming into some major transitions, July the 17th and then the 8/8 Lionsgate. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to give you validation, clarification, maybe insight into preparing you for those and understanding it. We are now going to be hit. It is about new beginnings, okay? But it is time for letting go and realignment and letting go of the status quo. This is about, the next video I do is going to be all about the activations and the realignment. So I don't really want to go down that yet, but let's talk about, we're going to talk about where you need to let go of the status quo. All right. Where has our ego become involved that has taken us out of alignment or out of our true heart space or out of our path or out of our full potential? So whatever's happening there, we are going to be taken now into, or Spirit wants you to go into a quiet space. So you may feel very detached. You may want your own time, your own space, to be in your own energy, to see truth. Nobody else's truth, but Spirit's truth. And to get you to connect back into that, because these activation, Spirit wants you to help push you into your highest potential, or the potential to create new beginnings. Okay, so whatever needs to let go of now that is not working, hasn't worked, is toxic, has fallen away or needs to, that will be happening now. That's why we've had an accumulation of suffering, consequences of our past actions, to learn lessons, to learn these lessons, to close out the cycles. The other thing is, that's karma. Karma's good and bad lessons. It's about your growth. Look at this, Spirit, intuition. This card came out in the pre-shuffle. I did a video on it. It's kind of, I don't know what happened, something happened. Intuition and manifestation, see? They want you in a quiet, deep, reflective inner, when you can get your own energy in your own space, peace. I cannot make this up, okay? Because then we can see people's hidden motives, or our own hidden motives, that is taking us away from, or blocking, or shadowing, or creating toxicity, So what we're going to do here is, Spirit's got a big message to honoring the path. Oh my gosh. The first two cards that are underneath each other were in the pre-shuffle. Spirit now needs you, wants you to honor the path, the higher path. Not what people want, not what your ego wants approval in, not the approval of others, not to adhere to conditioning, doing what it's about your ego at the moment, and that is being broken down. So any consequences to actions, any karmic lessons, was to break down and help you break through ego. Ego is great. We need ego. There is nothing bad about ego, but ego can take us. There's a shadow and a light of every side, and ego has that, and where you were running on a shadow or toxic ego and brought decrease, lack, codependency. So they're trying to get you to step into the present power here And so that in your present power, the power within you to see through deception. And again, this is about people pleasing, you know, having outside approval that has taken us off our path. So you may be feeling you need to, want to, or feel you need to honor your path. All right, now. Yeah, look at this. The angels of the 4 directions are coming through. This is the higher power coming in, or your higher self connecting you to your higher power, whatever you believe in, and it's bringing you into a state of peace within, a connectedness to take you like kind of in the shadow, into your dark thoughts, into that shadow ego side, and so we can look behind the mask. You may, for some of you, being shown in your current situations behind people's masks. So the masks are coming off, you and others, okay? And Spirit wants you into these deeper or more shadow thoughts of yourself. That is what transformation is, guys. And it takes, see, friends and colleagues and status quo. What looks good? What glitters? What looks good to others? How do I look good to others? That is not honoring oneself. That is not honoring the path, and that is taking you further away from love and heart, and that is disconnection. And we are seeing a lot of disconnection now, and we have in the last, year or two, where people are getting very disconnected from their heart space and honoring that, and they're doing what, looks good, or their ego. So honoring the path, Spirit's asking for your commitment now. And I just want to say that, and it's 3 is changes and cycles, commitment now and honoring your path, because you did write it. You have a destiny now to fulfill. Now, I don't want to go into it, but the new moon on July 17th is about it's destiny altering. That's all I'm going to say for now, and we'll save the rest for the video. But it's a commitment you made to yourself this lifetime, and it is. And the 4 angels are being called in now to bring transformation to your life. And travel is movement, and you are moving away from dark thoughts and out of dark thoughts, or the deeper thoughts, or the depths, or they will, because you need to see behind the mask and behind others' masks. Now, for great achievement, fear, and they were in reverse. So where you're not moving forward, where you're not stepping into your potential, where you're around people, places, and situations that are not going to take you into your full potential, where you feared, all right, in those deeper, dark, ego, shadow things that held you back, Spirit is ripping off the masks, okay? All that, will be brought to light for you with deception. All will be brought to light. A milestone, because a milestone represents a change in one's destiny. And yes, most of the time we have free will. That is part of the journey on earth. That's why we can turn around and go the complete opposite way to what our intuition's saying, what Spirit's saying, where we know we should go, or where we're guided. Our free will can turn around and go and learn other journeys, lessons, but they're saying, no, there's a milestone coming up now. And Spirit's trying to get you back into your heart space, the loving man, out of the masculine, into the heart space, into the healing light. And when you are forced into the healing light to go in and create the next milestone of your life, there is conflict, because there will be new connections, kindred partnerships, true love here. Okay, so Spirit's trying to uphold, or you will have to uphold, or now again, to a higher optimistic optimum. So the highest potential of love for you, the highest potential of true love, the highest potential of heart energy, that is part of your the future, where the archangel, they keep taking me back to these two, honoring the path of the higher up, the four directions, the four angels, bringing everything into balance now that is not and not for your future, into true love, and kindred souls are coming back together. So, or coming into union, or so what Spirit's trying to say here, we are a vast universe. It is a vast universe, and you are a vast universe. You are part of this. You are endless energy, okay? And it's time to step into forgiveness, because you need self-forgiveness. And you need, for all that has happened up until these points of activation that are coming in, so that you can move forward into your potential. But you also need forgiveness to forgive. So self-forgiveness and to forgive others and move forward, because we all had to go through an increased learning experience here. Now, forgiveness is only for you to move forward. And there is going to be, Spirit just said to me, a lot of letting go. There is a lot of conflict, because there's going to be a lot of letting go and moving forward and stepping into those big fears, okay? So, that's the wrong deck. We've got a message here. Adventures. Get ready for adventures and new adventures, okay? Into fulfillment. You will have protection. You will have Spirit's protection. Purification, the voyage, miracles, and the thriving is the giraffe. And now that is seeing into the future. The giraffe looks above the trees and across into the future where others cannot see, okay? It has an advantage point. It sees much further, so looking much further into the future, and that's what Spirit's doing at the moment. So you don't understand what's going on maybe, or why, but it's Spirit sees and is going to show you it's time to move much forward into the future. Freedom, okay? Power, healing chaos. So a lot of you are currently in healing chaos, or have been through or will be in these activations, and you need to have inner peace healing time. The blessings are coming in, you need to trust, and that power is the gateway. So the gateway's coming, okay? Solitude is required, because solitude brings a security of your energy that cannot be interfered with. So the ego, the shadow ego, does not get involved, okay? It's total protection of your energy, serenity. Bring that security in so that the wisdom can come through. The ancient wisdom, or the wisdom that you need, that you wrote, that Spirit's guiding you, that you and Spirit are communing with to move you forward into your full potential, into the wonders. Now, going forward, I cannot make it up. You have to move forward now, and taking risks is a part of that, all right? And that's moving beyond your current situation. Change. So, all right, let's get a confirmation on this voyage, and then we'll go to the tarot, because we'll get a message out here what this is all about. Enlightenment, your community. Thought so. Abundance. You are being enlightened now to the people, places, and situations around you, the community, and what you're attached to and why, and the choices, consequences, actions, decisions are all now what we're facing. And that is so that you can see through the masks and the veils and the light and the dark and see clearly into abundance. It is bringing you abundance, flexibility and potential and transformation. All right, Spirit said wrap that up. We've talked about that too much. So I'll just pop them there. Let's get a tarot message here. So the fated wheel of change and the magician. So this is basically the universe spins this wheel, not you. And this is consequences, karma, change, and that wheel will spin, and that's the universe pushing you along with change. It's good change, but it is still manifesting. You can see here the manifestation, okay? So, everything is sort of coming together or starting to be created. All right, yeah. So moving forward, see, you're going to have all the skills, all the tools, all the knowledge to your higher path, higher contracts, using your intuition, secrets coming out, information coming out at the right time, all right? And we have the receiving here. So you are definitely going to be receiving knowledge, signs, synchronicities, endings, beginnings, about messages, Spirit said, about it's to move you forward. Look at this shadow card, secrets hidden. That light's flickering again, guys. Sorry, it goes on and off. We've got secrets here. Anything that's hidden, and I was about to say dark to the light, and the light was pretty good. It's bringing you into happiness or contentment or peace. So again, you could be triggered. You could have a lot of subconscious traumas triggering coming up, or what you're about to hear or have validated or move on or move forward could do that to you or others. See, we have the Nine of Swords here. So some of you are in deep regret about a decision you made or someone you're inquiring or thinking about. Someone moved forward away from a contract. They're moving away from a contract here. I might give a few stories, so bear with me. But I've got to stick with this one. Someone moved away here from a contract, from a higher contract. They gave to something else that didn't necessarily work out or was of the lower shadow side, okay? It would have had lies, secrets, hidden things, all right? Now, two things. That could be someone moving away from you or you moving away from someone. It's both. Some of you had to move. There's two groups here. Someone moved away from a higher contract. They were giving to someone that was hidden, and there were secrets, and they went into their shadow and their ego, okay? Their lower frequency. They thought that was their happiness, their contentment, their peace. And it was not. It was an absolute disaster. So here's where we're talking about the ego. Now, this could be family involved. I don't know any type of family, okay? It could be friends, groups, associations. This is realizing that someone moved away from their higher path, and we're going into these activations into our higher path, so there is a reset. They moved away from you or vice versa. They gave to something else that didn't work out. It was lower shadow, toxic, karmic. Let's call that lower vibrational karmic. They either did that because of family, due to family. It can be ego. It can be, whatever. We'll get into that. For others of you, you had to, and I feel this is a message for both, because I do feel here we've got someone in despair because they walked away, could be two people or more in despair. They walked away from a higher contract, a spiritual spiritual path, higher knowing with the divine, their divine path that they wrote, all right, with you. Others of you, you had to, through information that you found out, you had a higher contract with somebody here, a destiny that you were giving to, and you were really seeing this as your future. You were giving to possibly them, their children, or prepared to. It's like, I'm going to give you my all. I'm going to share my wealth. I'm going to take on you, your children, your this, your that, whatever it is. Whatever. It doesn't have to be children. It can be anything. But you were giving your all, okay? You were prepared to go the distance. You found out there was shadow and secrets here. Hidden. Things were hidden. There were lies and possibly betrayal. And you were in this happy, and I feel the betrayal was to, let's say, a family or an ex, or their happiness was elsewhere, you know, something like that. For a lot of you, it's family. I'm hearing family. Family can be friends and groups and associations too, right? And they left you in the Nine of Swords and absolutely triggered, wounded, brutally wounded here. Because this wasn't just a heartbreak, this was a higher divine path. So not only did this person move away from you, vice versa, and took a new direction, you and them were creating and building a lifetime together, or there were promises or talks, or you thought this is where that is going. So one thought that's where this was going, and things came out of the dark. Okay, now those things is because somebody, okay, for some of you, we'll stick to this story. For some of you that found out some secrets they were giving to a karmic, a past person, like karmic meaning south node, the past. So they either stayed in a situation, went back to a situation, or a family, you know, situation. They didn't move forward, basically. You found that they were doing that behind your back. So they were giving you an idea of the happily ever after, and you found out that, you know, I am hearing from spirit, like for some of you, you experience, you know, they lied to your face and you know it. So there were situations where they were being sneaky. This is being sneaky here with this and this. They were being sneaky, and they thought they were going to play both off, or for a while, or till they worked out what, I don't know the situation. So it was like you were in union. Here's the higher union. You were both on together, on par. There was a happily ever after being planned here, and they decided to be sneaky, see karmic or ex-partner behind your back. There were lies, and you knew it. And you know they lied to your face about it. They expected you to play dumb and to go along, to not disrupt their situation. For others of you, they moved on, and where they moved on to, away from their path. And we move away from a higher path, we're moving into and back into, I want to learn more lessons. I need to go back in and finish and go back into karma. They may have had karma that the higher up made them deal with, closing out karma. But they did do, if they did leave, they didn't do it in a good way, okay? Or it kind of really threw you, conflict. All right, so we've got that story. Let's get some more here though. The reason this was happening or this situation came to this, or they took the other direction. And this is not just for you, this is for them and vice versa. I feel like because we've got to go into forgiveness now, heart alignment, whether you move forward into the new, or you move forward into a new karmic cycle, like the next cycle, sorry. Or, you know, there could be reconciliation. Reconciliation for some is about forgiveness and then getting in connection with the higher parts and the higher, like in that other deck, you know, honoring the path. And this is what this person's karma is sort of being. And I feel one honored the path and the contract, and the other did not. So the one who did not honor the path, who was lying and, you know, falsifying information about where they were, little did they know, you're either very intuitive, or you knew what they were up to and you didn't tell them, you let them lie to your face, which kind of ended it for them. Because forgiveness is going to either bring it back together and heal, or both of you move forward from that point forward, or reconciliate, or go into the new. Either way, healing's going to set you free, and those outcomes are up to the divine. We are just here because we've got higher contracts coming in now, and the divine represents, they take order and control of that at certain milestones and pinnacles in our life where we don't have a lot of free will. Okay, so that's what we're going through. So we understand that, and this heart healing and coming back into heart connection with your higher contract, or the divine, or your higher self, all of the above. So understanding on both sides is what we're saying brings, or enlightenment of both sides can bring this in. Definitely, bottom of the deck, we've got karma here. I feel someone here didn't think they would get karma, or their karma is they moved away from a higher contract and now they're realizing it, but they really didn't see it. This is someone who doesn't want to be accountable. They don't want to compromise. They don't want to make change. They want to stay in a comfort zone. It's self-imposed imprisonment. And I feel for some, this is what this person was in. It's self-imposed imprisonment. It was not real. They created it. That's why they were probably juggling, toing and froing, saying they weren't there when they were. And, you know, it reminds me of something. You know, they say, oh no, that person left at that time and they didn't. And, you know, then these little lies, and you know that they're lying, and you watch them lie to you. There's where the trust goes. This is where people will shut off, shut down. For others of you, this person could not face that about themselves. And they thought they were in a position, but really they didn't want to compromise. They didn't want to take responsibility for their actions. They couldn't hold themselves accountable to doing the right thing and implementing the changes that they needed to make. So that's where the break in the contract happened. And another aspect with that, Spirit saying they could not handle this level of love. This is a very big heart alignment. So they were brought into your life as a very big heart activation and alignment. And possibly, to be honest, under the High Priestess, under this, they prayed for you. They asked for this love, this unconditional, you know, higher contract, spiritual purpose. I want to go on my spiritual purpose journey. I want this higher love and activation. So they brought that in. But when it came to it, they couldn't handle the responsibilities. They couldn't handle the responsibilities. They couldn't compromise with you, or vice versa. And they weren't prepared to hold themselves accountable and take actions and have all those hard conversations that we have to have with people to move forward into their higher contract. So therefore, they went back and you, or they went back because you moved forward. Because here's the other part of that. Here's the flip side. One was upholding the spiritual contract. So you were open, you trusted them with everything, you were going to give to them on every level, you accepted whatever they were in unconditionally, you were prepared to move forward, let's say with children or exes, or, whatever it was, living, all of that. So you were prepared, you were open, you opened every aspect of your life, you brought them all in. And they expected that of you. And this is where Spirit's saying the judgment. This is where the judgment came in, that you, by the universe, had to move forward and expand beyond your current horizons. Because, see, here comes the resistance and the stubbornness stuck up in my head. They knew that you were long-term. They were planning this long-term with you. The stable, loving, caring, nurturing, warm, stable, open. So they expected you to be all giving, all loving. And Spirit's saying to me now, some of you keep repeating this cycle with people. You're expected, could be friends, could be lovers, could be anything, could be bosses, could be anything. Work, community. It's like they expected you, could be family, to be all loving, all giving, all open, all compromising, all understanding of their situation and them. But they didn't do that back. They weren't willing to compromise, and this is their lesson, you or them or whoever. The lesson is going to be, they couldn't compromise. They expected their ego, their stubbornness. It's a need for control. They got competitive in that with you. And rather than working harmoniously as a union, they got competitive. You be all open and open all your life to me, and I'll only let you into little bits. And I'm going to start to have secrets now, and I'm going to lie to you a little bit, and I'm going to keep you blocked out of a lot of things. And this is where you cannot do that to a higher contract or a person, or expect that of a person who you have a higher contract spiritual connection. And I've got one was very warm, loving, nurturing. So one was going through a lot, possibly one was not. One was caring, loving, nurturing, healing, and they had to set boundaries with this person or situation, whatever it was. Could be work, lovers, whatever. And once they set boundaries, or wanted some boundaries or some equal give and take here, the other person became stubborn in their ego, resilient, resistant, competitive, unawakened, fears came in. Then they didn't want to let go of what they had or what they knew. So they were fully in their ego then, and it was all their way. And this is what they're learning. This is where they may not understand why you moved on, or vice versa, or what happened. But you could see they couldn't see any of that. They wanted to give who they wanted to give to, when they wanted to give to, why they wanted to give to, and they didn't want you to have any input in that, or work certain hours, or do certain things, or have it a certain way if it was a boss, or friendships that only wanted a certain way. And once you speak up or step in or say, hey, or boundaries, and this happens a lot. You could be in a bit of a cycle of this, and this could have been your karma to stand up for yourself. And this person, or whoever they are, you place it where it fits. It is about you standing up for yourself, standing your ground, and having those boundaries, balance of equal give and take. And you had to let them know that you're not playing, or you do have to let them know, or the boss, you're not playing here. We're not playing games here. We're not in competition. And when you did that, it created so much disharmony. So the disharmony actually came from the person who was not willing, who shut out, shut down through secrets of juggling or whatever they were getting or doing. And that could be a boss getting more out of you than and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to look at it. They don't want to discuss it. They put it off. It can be a lover. It can be someone you are in a relationship with. Higher unions are generally love and our path, our potential, our purpose, but we're connected to that through work, through family, through friends, groups, associations. So there's a major lesson here. And when I say meeting up with karmics behind your back, that can be other people being somewhere they didn't say they were. That can be at work, that can be in your personal relationships, love relationships, all sorts of things. So we can place this reading wherever we want. So they started to distrust you because then you weren't this all loving, all unconditional, all giving, all understanding. But honestly, they were not prepared to make any sacrifices and changes for you. It was shut out, shut down, and death. And they got very defensive. See, they started working against you. Now, the other side of that is they've got a collaboration of people who were also working against you or them or whatever. It's their resistance, and their resistance was met by other resistance from outside. These are outside sources, being work colleagues, family members, whatever it was. Okay. Ooh, all right, so this person's the King of Cups. I have got the masculine, but please reverse the roles. The Tower. The universe has given or did give or will give or has given this King of Cups a tower. There is a massive change in their foundation. And the basis was, see, they weren't listening to their intuition. They weren't listening to anyone. They wanted to control it. They wanted my way or the highway. And that's why they lost a higher or went away from, or you or them moved away from this higher contract. So Spirit has sent them into a karmic lesson, and you on some level. Some of you have passed that test and lesson. Others have not. Or anyway, you will be working that out in the current situation. This person had to learn that they loved more of what a person could give them or do for them rather than love. So this person was definitely in their ego. They were run by their ego and in the shadow side, because we've got the shadow here. We've got the shadow here. So, and you may have been in your shadow of a wound or a trauma that was triggered, deception, betrayal, lies, manipulation, anything, I don't know, abandonment, whatever it was. Not having that equal give and take. So when you go into a higher divine union, can you see the poles here are dark and light, right? So, or dark and light the other way. So what that calls for is unity. You have to give what you expect of the other person to move into higher divine union. So when this person obviously wasn't awakened enough to do that, they had growth to do, or the current people you're around, or the current boss, they are not awakened to this. You had to do all the compromising. And then there was no validation. There was no reward for that. So even if you are doing all the compromising, if that person doesn't see that or reinforce, I love you, thank you for putting up with this, thank you, I'm working through it. See, again, we can be in a situation, and this is where discernment comes. We can be in a situation where we need to things are really set, and we really can't move some things. And this other person is taking on a lot of responsibility, a lot of compromising for us. But if you don't reward that and say, I'm really loyal to you, I'm dedicated to you, I know what you're doing for me, just hang in there, we'll get through this. But there was none of that. It was just shut you out, cut you off, ego, and they started to distrust you, and that was through listening to others. That was through the dark karmic situation that they've gone back into. There was a lot of manipulation, spell work, which is manipulation mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And so, yeah. And they didn't trust their own, and they were very shrewd with you and very petty as well. They weren't empathetic, but they wanted you to be all empathetic. Yeah, it was my way or the highway. So now they're seeing you as wish fulfillment. Now they see you, and it took that for them to learn this lesson somehow, whatever spirit went them through or whatever they went through. And if you are still in the past karmic or with someone or a situation or a job or this in that, you are now seeing wish fulfillment. Things are going to be provided, and you can see now what you did have or haven't got or where you need to go, because we've got the temperance. Temperance is balance of karma, equal now, what you got, what you didn't get, vice versa. But it's also about, balancing up the imbalance. And we have the Two of Cups right there, equal, giving equally. There's no power struggle here. This is unity. Even if one is compromising more than the other, there has to be some loyalty or some recognition or some communication or some voicing of that. You can't just expect someone to stay in the dark and create and have all the imbalance and do all the compromising. And when you're not prepared to compromise anything, and even if you can't at the moment, then you have to actually show more loyalty or more unity to that person who's doing that for you. And this didn't happen. They moved on passionately. They moved on fast, spontaneously, impulsively. They just moved on. But funny how the tides turn. They now want to come back. They have had an epiphany. They walked away impulsively and now into burden, and they're coming back now impulsively to release burden, because they want to balance up with temperance and this. They want to balance up now the higher union, the higher path. They want an equal union. They want to give to you now what they did not give to you. And this could be a boss. This could be a boss calling you in, or you having to stand up your ground and put those boundaries in and move forward to get this equalness, this temperance, because this is part of the future. The new path. They want to take the new path, the leap of faith. That's into the unknown. That is the risk. Take all those risks they couldn't take. Where they were wearing masks, they don't want to wear the masks anymore. Where they feared others, where they thought of others and how others thought of them, they don't want to wear that mask anymore. They want to come forward. I just, and heal the heartbreak. See, now they're realizing the heartbreak and the overwhelm of the heartbreak, and they're really feeling it. Spirit made them really feel it or really see it, whether it's coming back into union, reunion, or new or moving forward. It doesn't matter. We have to learn the lesson, right? And understanding and clarification gives us the lesson. There's a message from Spirit, a new beginning or message. They want to message you. They want to speak. They're writing something. They're texting. They're writing emails. They're going through it. They want death and rebirth. They want to put the work in now. They want to move forward now. But this is about moving forward impulsively without thinking of the consequences. Now they want to move forward passionately and forcefully, but thinking behind it, planning behind it, putting the work in behind it. That could have been a lesson here too. The lesson is, before they moved forward impulsively and didn't think it through. And they're now feeling the consequences. And so now they're thinking they want death and rebirth, a new beginning. They want to communicate. They could be spying, as in looking at social media, wanting to communicate. They're trying to think. Look, they're trying to manifest, think about what to write, what to say. They're asking and praying for the divine to give them strength or help or whatever. And they do. This Emperor wants to move towards now. This is higher, lower connections, choice of paths. Remember, jobs, lovers, anything this is, but this Emperor wants to make, it can be career, a step up in your career, it's time, or this is the final decision about and stepping into Emperor. Now an Emperor holds himself accountable. He can face the actions, he can face the consequences. He's ready to move forward and face anything coming at him and he wants to bring justice to the deceit, the deception, the betrayal, the trickery, and the Ten of Swords, the ultimate betrayal, all the pain and wounds caused and lessons. And anywhere they sabotaged and you sabotaged, it's time to bring justice, balance, contracts, spiritual higher contracts back into alignment. This can only happen through forgiveness, understanding of what happened. Whether you stay, go, move forward, all of the above. They see you. They knew you were the Queen of Cups. They knew you were there to transform them and bring them into higher spirituality. This is transformation in love. You transformed this person in love, and that was the conflict. See? And they may have had inner and outer conflict with you, but you may have had inner and outer conflict about them, because you could see couldn't, if you're going to be an empress, you have to have an emperor. You can't have someone. So this person's accountable, they're open, they speak their truth, they say it how it is, they face the consequences. This person wasn't ready, and now they're ready to step into emperor. And that could be you, male or female, and see, put the past behind them and choose a fated path. This is fated wheels coming in from the universe as well. And there's the World card, the new beginning, a reset cycle. So if we are given a reset cycle, so an example would be a chance to renegotiate a job, a contract, a friendship, a family situation, lovers. Spirit said all of those and none of those, only those of those things that are about a higher contract. So we're not talking about renegotiating with a karmic old boss or a karmic soulmate or a karmic old situation. You're just stuck in, resistant to change. It's your south node and you don't want to move forward and let go because you're being stubborn and not listening to your intuition, and your ego drives your decisions and all of that. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about any and all situations that are a higher spiritual contract. And you would know, because they are the overwhelming opportunities, people, and connections that we generally, are fearful of, and make us and moving forward, entrepreneurial, in taking action and having clarity, and it's overwhelming. But the Sun card with the King of Cups shows me they have had enlightenment. They will see all their emotions for this Queen of Cups now, vice versa, whoever that is, place it where it fits, is now overwhelming and obvious, and they want to bring healing. The Sun is also healing. See, clarity. And they've also had clarity on who was sabotaging, who was actually working against them in the dark, who had masks, who was manipulative. They're actually now seeing, even though they blamed you for all of that. And that's another thing that they had to learn. Maybe it's been done to them because they had to learn. They were blaming you. They were projecting a lot onto you, or others were, or a boss, or this person that actually was not you. And the star cards now illuminated and brought into alignment, you know, these third parties, these people that interfered, told lies, ruthless. This Queen of Wands with Queen of Swords, that is a ruthless person. That is a person, win at all costs, whatever it takes. Lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, blackmail, hold accountable. You know, this is someone who will, even if I don't want you, nobody's having you type energy. You know what I mean, male or female. That is a ruthless energy. And there was something to learn there or hidden there that had to come out. And they had to learn that lesson because to a degree, they were like that with you. They were like that with you. Now they're looking deeper and reevaluating. And I think that pushed them into the King of Pentacles energy where they needed to put the work in. Don't just listen and take spontaneous action. Don't just listen to what someone says and throw someone to the wolves. And they had to take the time to stop and look at what they were actually expecting of someone to put in when they weren't prepared to do it. And then they wanted to be angry at you. Yeah, and blame you for everything. And that's the martyr, you know, there's the reset. That's what they've realized, the Nine of Swords. And they want to take the leap of faith into the new path and be new and a new beginning. So they're planning it, they're coming forward, they aren't forward yet, or you're planning it, or you haven't moved forward yet. So let's get a little message. So fear or blockage, yeah, see they're in fear and they do want to move forward. The shadow over the sun. Everything that was hidden in the dark, the shadow, codependence, anything they were codependent to or vice versa, or the dark and the light, we've got the sun over the devil, everything is illuminated, okay? Within ourselves, within people around us, and that's the tower that the universe is giving everybody so that we can see it from both sides, okay? Spiritual journey into the path and the world card and closing out at 10 of 10 of Swords, a cycle, and the world card's a cycle. So again, it's about learning the lesson and understanding it. Forgiveness comes in so you can move forward, or they can move forward, or you can get into alignment into these new upgrades that are coming in. And it's about now putting in the work and thinking deeply and really going into that and looking, putting your focus on your long-term potential, long-term path, long-term contract, not jumping from here to here because, you know, I go with what suits me at the time, who's compromising with me, who's giving me what I want. You know, this person, it's an energy. It's an energy of, I look at what I was getting out of a situation more than the love. And I think Spirit's now taking them back into their heart where they disconnected or they were coming from that lower shadow side. And I feel they went back, or if it was a person or a job or a situation, they went back in around to someone like that. You know, I think they found out the same thing, that person was just there for what they could give them more than the love. And that's the big lesson here. And they walked away from a higher love, or they need to walk away from, let's say, a boss or a situation into, you know, a better situation. So for the lovers, a little message here. What's the message? Fulfillment, embracing inner peace, forgiveness, taking time out, action, going forward, illumination, flexibility. Their lesson was about flexibility. Flexibility is being able to work in a union. That will be the new beginning. That's when you get new beginnings. This person, you cannot expect one to be all open and one shut down. You can't expect one to have a set of rules and the other. You can't expect one to be so loyal to you when you were not being loyal to them. And this person was very intuitive anyway and knew that. And higher contracts know that. Higher contracts know when someone's lying to them. You know, oh, I'm going there because of, and they're not. You know it. Oh, I have to pick something up and drop something up. They're not. You know it. You know, it's the little things that can trigger people the deepest. And that's very scary. And there's where the transformation needed to happen. The truth. They needed to be in their truth. And truth is out of ego. It's saying, I know you're really, you know, I'm expecting you to be so understanding and so compromising of my situation. And I'm aware of that. And please, I really thank you and love you for you know, putting up with me for a certain amount of time while I get through this. But this person didn't want to do this. They just wanted you to be in the shadow and in their shadow and believe the lies and the secrets and hide things and where they were codependent and for whatever reason. And that's the same if it's a boss, you know, they don't want to talk about it. I don't want to discuss the extra hours you're doing. You know, we can get this in many different situations, but Spirit keeps saying this is only about situations that you have higher contracts in, like careers that are in alignment with your full in your future, okay, or love and things like that. So what this person would like to say to you is that they are trying to heal, and it is a time for healing for everyone. And they need to heal and do their healing work on forgiveness of you and them and vice versa. And also about being honest. They're trying to get honest with themselves and forgiveness, and they want to be faithful to you because I can see this here. They want to be faithful with you and to you. They want to move this into the next natural evolution of the future. This is your highest potential. This is karmic justice and balance. And I think they needed to learn that, you know, what's expected of you should be expected of them. And that's how we go into higher divine union. You can't get that in lower vibrational because we've got higher contracts here. These are higher contracts by the divine. You cannot come into this in competition, in ego. And that's where, you know, twins, higher level soulmates, not lower level soulmates, they'll send you back into a toxic situation to fight and argue and lower vibrational frequency and lack and poverty and nothing working and constant conflict and bring out all your toxicity and addictions to learn the lesson that when you go into higher unions, you have to be equal. You have to give the equal amount of loyalty, respect. This person and you are in connection within the 5D. You will always feel each other. And that's the message I'm getting here. Even in the ethers, you know, this is a high, to have the temperance and the Two of Cups, this is a high vibrational, high connection. You cannot cut this cord. It is in the 5D with whatever the outcome, it's there. Because, you know, even though we're not together, I still feel you in the 5D, and they can't cut that cord even as hard as they've tried and vice versa. They both cannot do that because there's a future here or in some level and a forgiveness as well that needs to happen. They want to do the right thing for you. They by you, to you, and they do feel they were unfair on you. They have learnt that lesson now or come to that conclusion or will. They want to undo the wrongs and balance them out, temperance. And they do want you to know that they did expect more from you than they were willing to give. And that was part of the karma. And Spirit threw them into someone who did that to them. Okay, possibly, or a boss or a situation. If it wasn't a relationship, it would be friends or groups, or we learn it through some avenue. Okay, I took from you for my own benefit. We both blamed each other, and forgiveness, but they do want to say they were unfair, or any imbalance here, they want to bring balance back. And I did hear that they feel, they know you were warm and empathetic and healing and loving towards them, and they did nothing but reject that, really, and throw it in your face, but they were willing to come and take it. Ooh, that was heavy. And that was why the contract got broken. Their abundance was taken. And abundance is, going back into a situation where we don't get a lot of growth, or we go and learn more lessons, or, whatever was happening there. They might have went to a person who, or a situation, or a new job, or a new boss that, wasn't accountable, didn't compromise. And really, that toxic lower frequency came into them, like connected with them, because they did that to you. So they lowered their frequency doing it to you, which is why they were a match to the frequency they went to or are in. And I think they may have realized this now. I think they've kind of gathered or pieced it together, but there's still a lot of healing here. Please use discernment. We just want to clear this up, because as we move into these new activations that are happening, and a potential of these activations that are coming, that we'll talk about in the next video, it's about us preparing you to be in your full potential, to get the most out of those initiation energies or extra powerful energies, so that you can, and the only way to do that, is to have peace or forgiveness or understanding of a situation. And as I said, whether it's been your boss or your work life, or a cycle in that, or friends, or, groups, associations, or a lover, but those connections would have been like quite hot, like you had a higher contract to fulfill. And anywhere we've gone off that, or been swayed off that, these are what these activations are coming in. But I don't want to talk about that now, because I'm going to talk about it in the next video. So everywhere and anywhere you went off your path, or swayed, or persuaded, or veered, or had agreements, anyway, obligations, whatever it was, these activations are destiny altering. And until we understand something, we won't shift, or complete something, we will not shift into those next evolutionary stages. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope that's helped. Take care. Bye.